courses don't fail because the content is bad. They fail because there's too much of it. Raise your hand, or physically or mentally raise that hand, if you've ever kept adding lessons and modules and bonus videos, all because you thought it would make your course more valuable. Go on, I see you. This isn't just a feeling, because there was a study done by Class Centrals in the 2023 report that said over 60% of learners actually never finish an online course that they start. Researchers link this not just to motivation, but to the course overload and the lack of clear progression. So today we're going to cut through all the chaos and we're going to get to what truly matters, delivering real results in the most simplest way. Now, as always, we're going to kick off with our theme song as we wait for our VIPs to join us inside of Zoom. I'll see you back here in 3.5.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine, go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Hello, welcome to Strategy with Sally. This is our weekly live. We live stream every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Melbourne time. Smart people Google. If we haven't yet met, I'm Sally. I'm Sally Sparks Cousins, and this channel that you're watching this on is for business owners who want to simplify their systems, not make more complexity. Now, let's be honest. You didn't start building a course to feel overwhelmed, did you? No. And you started it because you wanted to help people, right? You want to help someone move forward. So tell me in the chat, are you building your first course or are you refining your existing course? Let me just find my little chat window. Where's it gone? Hello. There we go. The joys of live. Where has the window gone? Chat window. There it is. Oh, look. Deborah. First course. Yes, she is. And she's doing a great job at focusing in on her first course. And also Sharon is doing her first course as well. Well, today's going to be really helpful because we want to talk to you about what a lot of people tend to do is they over-engineer their course. They try to teach people everything that they know. But here's the thing. What you know is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years worth of knowledge, right? But the people on the other end, they don't need all of that information. They need to put it through your filter, you as the expert, and rather than teach them everything that you know, just teach them what they need to know. So the real challenge here is not adding more. I always say the hardest part isn't what you put into your program, it's choosing what to leave out. So here's what I see again and again. People confuse value with volume. So we had a client and she came to me with this big dream of creating this course with 200 lessons. Oh my goodness. And she thought more content equaled more value. But halfway through her beta, her cohort or her students were saying things like, I just don't know where to start. Or they said things like, I'm feeling really overwhelmed, or I'm stuck in module 3. Now, she had thought that if she had just taught everything she knew, then that would be better. But nothing was focused enough on actually getting the students to move. Now, there's a reason this happens so often. There was a study by ResearchGate that showed that too much content without clear application is one of the leading course drop-offs. Learners don't quit because the information is bad. They actually quit because they don't see how they can actually use it. And that's where the real problem lies. And that's what we're addressing today. Does it sound familiar? Like you're just putting things in because you feel like you need to add all the things. Most people think if I don't include every possible angle, I'm shortchanging the students. But here's the reality. Your clients don't need everything you know. They need progress. They need it quickly. They're literally cutting a check for speed. A Garda survey found that organized, streamlined learning paths actually increase course completion and learners' confidence in the course, and it doesn't come from just adding more lessons. So let's get intentional about what actually belongs in the course. Now, today's episode actually does come with a workbook, and we will drop the link around the video for you. Let me just double check the number. I know Vinodi sent it out earlier this morning. It is sparklewithsally.com/551, because that's the episode number we're recording today, number 551. So go to sparklewithsally.com/551. So the results you are actually responsible for. Now, before you think about lessons, I want you to ask yourself, what is the one result that my course must deliver? So after they've gone through all the lessons and modules, what is the actual result? So not the topics, not the modules. I'm talking about the actual outcome. Let me tell you about another client who is an experienced coach with tons of expertise, but he had a brilliant program covering mindset and tactics and strategy. And he gave lots of tools and workflows, everything except a clear outcome. And then when we narrowed this down and got his promise to get your first 10 paying clients in 90 days, everything else just started to slot into place. And then completion, it went up. Confidence in the students that he worked with, they went up. And the students actually started to do stuff. That's what they're after. So type one word in the chat that describes the result that your course promises, or one or two words. What's the result, the end result, once they go through your program? So get those tippy tap fingers out and type it in. Now, if you can't say what your course delivers simply, then that usually is a sign that you've got too many goals in the course. All right. Deborah says, severing emotions from eating. Great. Love that. Sharon says, get out of the dinner rut. Yeah, that 4 p.m. one, right? I think that you call it the 4 p.m. something. Yeah, get out of that dinner rut. So now you know what the outcome is, then it's easier to think, what are the smaller outcomes that I need to get them through to be able to get to that larger outcome? So always reverse engineer your course. Think about what's the larger outcome once they do everything. Don't think about lesson names, module names, just the outcome. Then think between 3 to 8 major things you want them to learn. And again, outcomes along the way they need to do to get to that final outcome. Now, so number one, you need to think of what is the result that you're responsible for. Now, the second thing that you'll start to consider is, what is the support, right? So support without over teaching. Actually, let's go back to number 2. I should tell you what number 2 is. That's number 3. Number 2 is the minimum steps. The minimum steps that is required for getting them to the end. Now, that is to that larger outcome. So what are the non-negotiable steps that your learner must take to get there? Now, we're not talking about every single nuance, every single thing. We're talking about essential progression. So here's a fact from e-learning industry. Courses that clearly map out what to do first, next, and last actually improves the learner engagement by up to 58%. Now, that's huge. And it comes down to really smart sequencing, not adding more content. So which part of your course at the moment feels overbuilt or heavy right now? Maybe you need to think of trimming it down if you know that they don't truly need it. I'll give you an example of when I created the Business in a Box, right, which is the course that people do when they buy OmniSam. It's the foundation. Now, I do this whenever it comes to graphic design and branding. I've been a designer for over 20 years. I taught graphic design and photography at diploma and advanced diploma levels to vet students as well. at lots of different places for lots of years, right? And I tend to get into that mindset of teaching lots around branding and design. So in the very first module of the Business in a Box, I started going into typography and color and like all the different icons. But to be honest, they don't need all of that stuff to set up the Business in a Box. It definitely needs to be culled back. Or at least I need to put a video at the start saying, I'm going to give you some tips. But at the end of the day, all we need is a headshot, a couple of colors chosen, and a typeface. Everything else in there is just good to know and all right for later. I did the same thing in my Personal Branding Made Easy course. I went deep into color theory. I started talking about different types of typography. I explained my hatred of papyrus and Comic Sans, right? But they didn't need to know all of that information when it came to branding. So if you really love it, sometimes you feel like you've just got to teach it. But at the end of the day, was it getting them to that end outcome? No. It was just filling their head with more stuff, right? We need to cut it back and just give them what they need to know. So also choose the least amount of steps. You do not need 200 lessons in the course. So what I like to do when I'm reverse engineering a course is I think of that larger outcome first. Then I get you to think of how many, 3, 5, 8 at the most, major outcomes do you want to get to, or little micro outcomes really, to get to that end result. Once we've actually mapped out the outcomes, then we can start thinking about what do we need to teach in order for them to get over that hurdle. And the hurdle is that outcome, that deliverable that you want them to be able to achieve. All right, let's move into tip number 3 is support without overteaching. Now we're back in the right order. Even though you're putting a course together, here's something people do miss. They think if I just build a course, stick it online, sell it, and I'm done. No. When you build a course with true honesty and integrity, you don't know where people are going to get stuck. You know what they think they should know when you first put the course together. But if you don't spend time with the students, you will never know what needs to be improved. I remember when I built a course, I mapped it out, and I had this lesson in step 7. And by the time I got to step 3, I'm like, oh, that thing I need to teach in step 7 has to come forward to step number 3. It's actually more important to be there rather than like 6 other steps away, right? So spending time with your people, not only will it help them get through the program, but it will also help you to improve the program. Now, the support doesn't always belong inside the main course, right? As well as being with you, I would also recommend doing an Ask Me Anything session once or a couple of times a month. We do that directly after Strategy with Sally every week. We do an AMA, Ask Me Anything, where people who are going through our program, who are either in our academy or even our build clients who are with the studio have extra questions they want clarity on, we do an Ask Me Anything every week. But also some other things that can support your teaching are things like simple checklists so that people know what to do in what order. Or maybe an example that you can share with them before they go off and they do it for themselves. Or even a reflecting back on things that they've done in the past, then going through the lessons to then see the outcome on the other side. Or another thing you can also provide are templates as well. Now, according to Adobe's digital learning report, learners were more likely to apply what they learned when the support was there around the actual practical content, right? But not an encyclopedia of resources, concise resources. So if you have materials that are truly optional, then move them to supplementary support. However, if they're necessary, then put them within the course. But again, I always say, please do add in some of your face-to-face support as well. It's going to allow you to build a better course and improve your course as well, because the people going through it, one, they'll love to have you and time with you. But secondly, your course at the beginning is just your best guess at what you think they will need. So let me talk to you a little bit now about what I'd skip or stop or do differently if I were building courses again from scratch. So here's what I would stop doing. I'd stop recording bonus content before I even understood where learners get stuck. This is where spending time with them, doing those support calls and ask me anything, even keeping a track of the email questions that come in. Once I've heard something at least 3 times, then I'm like, do I need to add that to the main course content, or do I need to make bonus content so that when learners do get stuck, I can say, go down there in the bonus resources. Another thing that I would stop doing is teaching without real application. So you can teach a lot of theory, but if you don't show real world applications on how it actually works, then you're just teaching theory without any actionable outcomes. And the other thing I would definitely stop doing is try to predict every future question that the learner might have. That's why the Ask Me Anything sessions, or keeping track of all of those support questions that come in, are way more important than trying to come up with a huge list of FAQs. Now, things I would skip. So I would skip putting in really advanced strategies before building out the foundation of the program. So don't try to get too advanced. I remember Aline, one of our clients, said, I feel like I haven't given them enough information about her topic. And she helps people with MS and other sort of neurological things. But when people went into her membership program, they got overwhelmed because of all of the things. And she's like, wow, it's way bigger than I ever thought it would be. So don't start putting advanced strategies in before the foundation is really solid. So instead, what I would do is launch smaller, right? You may have that larger idea for your course, but you could just teach one module first and just sell that one little micro outcome. So launch smaller. And also watch where your learners get stuck. Wherever your learners get stuck, that's really important to know. And also make sure that you're building in real feedback. There's a power in being really simple, and the learners will sense that, and they're going to be more likely to complete. All right, so keep it super simple. KISS, right? Keep it super simple. When you're building your course, don't overteach, because the 10 years of 20 or 30 years of knowledge that you have in your brain, all the years of study that you have spent to gain that knowledge, isn't so that person learning is going to be an educator just like you. They're actually just doing it to get to the outcome, to the result. So as always, we love to get some shit done around here. So some GSD to make this a little practical. I want you to pick one thing right now. And that can be your choice of one outcome that your course must deliver, one lesson to either simplify or remove, and one next action you're going to commit to. All right, so I'll just repeat that again. What is the one outcome your course must deliver? Then one lesson that you must simplify or remove. And what is the one next action that you're going to commit to? So drop it in the chat, even if it feels super obvious. Because, to be honest, progression beats perfection every time, doesn't it? Yes? Progress every time. And we really want you, not just you, and we want your clients to get real momentum by using your program. So, look, you don't need a massive course to create massive income. But you do need things to be clear. You need the sequence to be correct and the confidence to say no to all the noise. Now, if you want support building and delivering a really simple course, well, that's where OmniSam can kick in and also help you bring all of that together. And we do actually do that with our academy and our studio clients. And hang on in, because we do have the Ask Me Anything session straight after today. And then, of course, we'll have GSD, where our clients get myself and my team with them for 3 to 4 hours every single Tuesday, so that we're not just learning, but we're implementing. So before we go dark, I'd love to come across to the room and get a key takeaway from each of the people that have joined us, or some of the people that have joined us in the room today. Let's come to Bridget. Wrong background.
How did I know that was coming?
Yeah. Hang on,
Um,
let me find you one moment, please.
no problem.
There we go. There she is. Oh, hang on, it's not working. It's doing
So,
that silly thing
nope,
again.
it's you twice.
There we go. Oh, that's Sharon now. Hang on. It's all going all crazy. There we go. There's Bridget. Bridget.
Yeah, for me, I overthink everything. So simplifying the course, keeping it short and sweet, and then if they have questions, being available, and that way I can find out what the most asked questions are, and then fold that in either in a reply or an extra section later.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Awesome. Love that. Deborah, come on up, Deborah. What was a key takeaway for you?
Key takeaway. Well, you've built my course and you've done such a wonderful job that I'm not in the stage yet where I can really answer your questions properly, as in what would I simplify or remove, because I have to run it to know that. I think that just the structure that you've provided means that I will be forced to build it in such a way that there isn't too much redundancy from the outset.
Yeah.
So, but your point about building courses backwards, seeing the end result first, and then building in accordance to that is absolutely good teaching practice. That's what I did for 40 years.
Yeah, that's it.
Planning
Hey,
lessons.
as teachers, we know that, right?
So it's the perfect model to build a course on. I'm also not going to be building it just to put online. It's going to be a live course.
Perfect.
So it's more, there's teaching, but there's also a lot of mentoring, coaching going on in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything you said, what can I say?
Yeah,
So
well, that's
I
super
can't
powerful.
pinpoint one.
And I mean, you just did the list growth accelerator with us. So, you know, you've
Mm-hmm.
had a bit of a shift on list growth as well as still refining out your course. But
Mm.
yeah, look, even if when it gets to the course, we just build it in pieces as well, right? Like a module
Mm.
could be an offer. When I
I didn't think
started
of that. Yeah.
when I started this whole crazy business that I've got here, I just started by offering I will teach one marketing plan a month. And I just built, they're called MAPS, marketing action plans. And I would just deliver one a month based off what I would hear my audience needed. And then eventually I had 18 of them. And then I could just put them all together into a course, right? But another way is just, teaching one module and try and sell that first. So if you think about your lead magnet, what's the first module that may be good under that initial lead magnet? And I'll talk to you all more when we go dark. I just had a really great idea yesterday about lead magnets. So remind me to share with you this bright idea that I had once we go dark. Sharon, come on up, Sharon. What's a key takeaway for you from today?
I'm a bit like Deborah. I haven't actually done mine yet, but I have decided to do a little mini course that I'm going to run after I did that course last week with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do the 4 p.m. fix.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run a little course on dinner made easy for to get them out of the dinner rut, but just a little mini course that can start them off and then get to bigger and better things later down the track.
Awesome. Yes,
So
I love that.
yeah.
But keep an eye out, guys. We will be doing a course creation challenge later this year as well. So even if you've got a course and you want more clarity around it, keep your eye out. We will be running one later this year. But of course, if you're inside the program, we're always helping you build this type of thing. All right, we've got Emma in the room as well. Emma, come on up, Emma. What was a key takeaway for you today?
Just a reminder that things don't have to be complicated. They can just be simple, one thing at a time, and just smash it out and get it done and get started. So
yeah. Well, you are the perfect example of smash it out and get started. You've started running ads. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to having a look at some sexy numbers today when we go dark as well. Well done, Emma. Everyone should cheer her on. Emma is a scholarship student as well, and she's really taking advantage of everything and honestly smashing it out, like you said, and just getting that stuff done. So well done. All right, guys. Well, we're going to lock it on down for today. Thank you, everyone who joined us live. Please hashtag live or replay below this live stream. And as always, never let anyone dull your sparkle. Make sure you get at least one income producing activity done every day. And she's waiting for it. I can see her there on screen. Hang on a moment. I've got to do it. And everyday be marketing.
I've come in just on time to do my end of stream edition.
You have. So Ash, we've got List Growth Made Easy restarting. Next week we kick off, is it? I think it's next week.
Absolutely. So it is Monday through Friday, the 2nd onwards for Australia, and Sunday through Thursday for the US. So the 1st onwards, 5 days, 10 a.m. Melbourne time for content each day. And then an hour after that is going dark, networking, strategy, ask me anything. So personalized business help. Very, very exciting. There are prizes to be won, and it is not the same challenge or boot camp that you have done before. So if you think you've done list growth made easy before, I'm going to tell you, you haven't. So come on back, come on in, have a play, connect with your success coach. listgrowthmadeeasy.com/join now.
Yes, we're excited to kick it off. I've been frantically trying to get all the content rewritten, but it is definitely a different challenge than we've run in the past, with a huge focus in on building, which a lot of the time we do a little bit and send you on your way, but there's a massive focus on building. And for those people who want real momentum, you will actually be building your funnel with us, and you will be walking away ready to fill it. And I know that at the end of our accelerator, we gave all of the participants a challenge to get out and in front of new people with their new funnel. They've all got to check in live inside of the GSD by OmniSam Facebook group on Thursday, which is 2 more days from now. I'm just giving you a little nudge. I hope you've committed to and followed through with your things that you committed to do on the Friday or Thursday when we ended up last week. So just a little nudge. Make sure that you've got something to report when you go live in the group, and let us know next week. We will be holding you accountable to that. All right, guys, we're going to head off now. Have a great one, and I'll see you same time, 10 a.m. Melbourne time. Oh, no, it'll be Challenge Week next week, so we'll be here at 10 a.m., but it will be List Growth Made Easy Challenge, which kicks off on Monday. Bye for now.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.